This is the Going to the Endzone Podcast.
Welcome to this week's Go to the Endzone Podcast. We are here at Northview with the Knights. They got a big matchup Friday at home against Garen Catholic. I'm joined by three Knights right now. We got Brandon Brewer, Kalen Bell, and Colton Bath. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your day and joining us on this week's podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Guys are off to a great 5-1 start this year. Just what would it mean for all three of you guys, to end the season on a high note and hopefully make some noise, not just the rest of the regular season, but come playoff time?
Well, I think it'd be pretty well for all of us to do well and then end it off with the seniors with a great win streak and just all around being able to execute plays on and on.
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same way. I just feel like that if we end the season off well, then, it's pretty bonus for me. So, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it'd be a good win to get us momentum going into sectionals. Hopefully win a few games in there.
You guys all play offense, and one thing we know about Northview this year is you guys have an elite running game. Obviously, you're on the offensive line. What's it like when you guys are humming on the ground and, you're kind of imposing your will up there?
It feels kind of powerful. We just keep driving, and they just can't stop us. And it feels really good when Tyler Lee finally finds a hole and just books it, and we're all just chasing after him to the end zone.
This is for all three of you guys. I mean, Northview's been such a successful program for the last, 11 years, 11 straight winning seasons under Coach Rates. Just what does it mean to you guys to play for this program?
It means a lot. I mean, we all like the game. We love it. I mean, everyone watches it. And it's just something we just love to do and grew up doing.
I'm a transfer, so I really like this team because I heard about Coach Rates and I heard about D. White and his dad and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to join this team.
Yeah, it's just great to be at a place where they take football seriously and they care about it all the time.
Kalen, obviously it's your senior year. I mean, I kind of asked you this a little bit, but, what would it mean for you to go out with like a great note on your senior year and your high school football career with some big-time wins down the stretch?
I mean, it would mean a lot, to be honest. I mean, I really, really want to just make an impact on this team, and pretty much it just means a lot if I was to win and go on a good note and then know that I ended off my senior year as, a good team. So, yeah.
And Brandon and Colton, for you guys, just seniors like Kalen, what do they mean to this team? I mean, playing for those guys, I know obviously you guys want to send them out on top, right?
Yeah. It seems, they're really good leaders, and they try their best to scholar well in schooling and all that. I'd like to see some of them go to college and pursue even higher than that, but, I mean, they are doing pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, we have great leaders, senior leaders on our team. They help all the younger guys out a lot. Love them.
Sweet. Now, I've asked you enough football questions, so it's time to get more on the fun side. We're going to have Coach Rates on in a minute. We like to ask this to all the players we have on. What's something about Coach Rates that I might not know, the fans might not know, not on the football field? So off the football field, Coach Rates, tell us something we don't know about your head coach.
Really funny.
Really funny?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Really quick-witted with, jokes back and forth.
What's the best joke he's told you?
I think it was like a C team joke he told us about the C team practice and how they were just excited. As soon as school got over, their pads were already on.
There you go. What about you guys?
I just say pretty laid back. I mean, yeah, he looks all, tough and stuff on the field, but he's pretty laid back.
What about you, Colton?
His son's over at my house about every other weekend, so that's fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, it's great to have a coach you guys have a good relationship with and on and off the field, so that's why we like to ask that question. Now for game day routines. I know I was talking to you guys a little bit about this before we started recording here. Are there any, foods you have to eat before the game or after the game on game day, or any songs you got to listen to get yourself hyped up? Go ahead. We'll start with you.
I definitely like the ham and cheese option. It's a great choice. Wish we could variety a little bit more. But, I mean, other than that, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, the turkey sandwiches is all good and stuff. I mean, I just wish we got Subway once in a while.
Yeah, the meal's good enough. I like the meal. That's about it. Got to have a playlist you listen to.
Yeah, what about postgame?
Oh, usually a majority of us go to Wings and we just hang out and just play music usually on their thing.
There you go. What's better than football and wings, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Now I got to ask you, because we were talking before the podcast. I heard you ate a whole jalapeno.
Oh,
what
yeah.
was that about? Can you just tell that story?
Yeah, so, I mean, It was someone that ate it, and it was like a
It was me.
little chunk. Yeah, it was him. And I was like,
Oh,
man,
wait, I didn't know that. So you ate the little
I
piece of
started
it.
it.
yeah,
Okay.
he started it,
then
and I
you
saw
said-
him. I was like, man, you just being a baby. and then I was like, let me try it. Ate the whole thing. I was
He's
dying.
done.
There's a whole video and everything. I was crying.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be the type to try a jalapeno. But guys, I mean, thanks for stopping by, joining us on this week's podcast.
Thank you.
Good luck on Friday. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Endzone Podcast right after this. Head coach Mark Rates joining us.
Welcome back to our Going to the Endzone podcast. We're coming to you from Northview High School here in Brazil. We are joined by the head football coach of the Northview Knights, who are 5-1, head coach Mark Rates. Coach, thanks for letting us come by the show this week.
Yeah, thanks for making the drive out here to Brazil. It's beautiful out here, isn't it? Nice sunset.
Really
Oh,
is.
yeah.
So, thanks for coming over to talk Northview football.
And a big one Friday night, hosting a Guerin Catholic team that you know a lot about, but an exciting time to be hosting a team like this come Friday right here.
Yeah, Guerin Catholic's one of the best teams in the state. I think they're ranked second in the state in Class 3A. This will be our fourth year playing them. And actually, Coach Dilly, their head coach, when I was the coach at Terre Haute South, he was the head coach at Lawrence North. So this will be, I think, the 10th time we've coached against each other.
Nice.
What are some of the biggest keys you think against Guerin Catholic to try and get that win, move to 6-1?
Well, I mean, obviously they're a very good team in all aspects, very well coached. Defensively, they're very senior heavy. I think they're starting 9 seniors. They run a 3-3 stack. They got guys that kind of come from all over the place. So we're going to have to do a really good job up front, blocking, and I think that's where the game's going to be won. We struggled a little bit last week with Terre Haute South, with their size. And so that's that. And then offensively, they got a lot of experience back. They run the ball well. They're really good in the RPO game. So we're going to have to be playing very good assignment football all night.
Yeah, let's go back. You said, you're going to have to be strong up front. You guys have been all season strong up front. Let's go through, what you think is really working, that run game, and obviously you've got some strong guys up front on the line that are protecting them. Talk a little bit through how that is functioning so well and what you owe that to.
Yeah, well, actually, that's where we were the most inexperienced coming into the season.
Yeah.
We graduated 4 offensive linemen, so very inexperienced. We knew we had a lot of work to do, but they've really risen to the challenge. Yeah. And Coach Forker, our line coach, has done an outstanding job with them. And really, they've got to do it themselves. So.
Right.
When it comes game time, they've been playing very well. Like I said, we struggled a little bit at times last week, but that happens sometimes when you're playing good teams.
Yeah.
How can running, certainly the weather's changing last Friday in September, coming up this Friday, when you get towards the sectional time, you want to run the ball, play good defense. How can that certainly help you guys? That's certainly the MO always with one of your teams.
Yeah, that's just kind of the philosophy of our football program. We want to run the ball first. That's what we're always going to hang our hat on. Day one, we install power. and that's what we run. And we say if things are going well, we're going to keep running. If things are going bad, that's what we're going to go to. And then, we like to play good complementary football. So, running the ball, controlling the clock, playing good defense, being sound in the kicking game. And for the most part, our team has executed that really well.
Talked about up front, another key part of the running game is having two guys that can run all over you. Kyle Cottee at quarterback, Tyler Lee at running back. Just as an offense, what does that do? Having two guys that the defense has to prepare for, that can take to the house at any moment.
Yeah, having that running quarterback, that adds that 11th person that defenses have to account for. And Tyler Lee, he kind of burst on the scene last year. We all knew what he was capable of, having to practice with him all the time, but he's a physical runner. He's a tough kid. He's graduating early and he's going to enlist in the Marines. And that's kind of been his dream all along, but that's kind of the mentality that he brings to the table. And, Kyle's just super athletic, and he's going to make some plays. Sometimes when things break down, he makes some plays, and you're like, oh, I guess that's how we wanted it to work. So, those two guys have done a great job, and we knew they were coming back. But, we're really proud of the way our linemen have stepped up.
And, you brought some guys out here for the podcast tonight, one senior, but then some younger guys. So really, shows that you have a lot of faith in the future of the program too. So what have you noticed from some of the younger guys stepping up and really filling out those roles that makes you confident that you're going to continue to have success in this program?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to bring our thought was kind of bring a senior, a junior, and a sophomore in. And, we feel really good about our program. Our numbers are as high as they've ever been. We have 13 seniors, but, our big groups are our younger groups, and our JV team's still undefeated. And really that comes from the leadership that our seniors are providing. And I'm not sure what they're doing over there right now, but our junior class, sophomore class, freshman class, really in our middle school, here at Northview, we tie our middle school in quite a bit with our program. And, we're really excited about the future of our program.
Trio of guys, and you had a trio of coaches sitting over here as well, Bradshaw, McLean, and Hannes. Is it harder to deal with a trio of players or a trio of coaches like that, Coach?
No comment.
Okay. You complete the fifth. Family is important. I gotta ask a dad question too. Your dad's been, you've been football's in your blood. It's in your dad's blood. What's it like too to still have your dad helping out at practice every day, film, and then certainly up there on Friday nights too?
Yeah, it's fun. It's something that we've always shared. Since I was a little kid. Being out at practices all the time, and I've never had a fall where I haven't been around a football team. So, it gives him something to do. He's 77 years old now, and he still coaches, we always kind of say old school. They all call him old rates, but he coaches them hard. And, I think he still connects well with the players. And, he does a good job, with our coaches too. Like Coach McLean goes every Saturday and breaks down film with my dad. And I've had several other coaches. Aaron Edwards is at Ben Davis now. He used to do the same thing. And Bradshaw used to do the same thing. He works with me now. But, he does a good job mentoring our coaches, coaching our players, and it's just something that's important to him, and it's fun for us to share.
Now I have to ask, as a coach's wife, I got to bring up your mom too, because she's been through all of that too. What kind of an asset does she provide? I know she's got some feedback too. She's not one to shy away from telling you how she feels either. I'm sure having her there is just as important.
Well, they say she makes some nice cheese soup whenever.
I bet she does.
Whenever they break down film, she always makes lunch for them if they come over to the house to break down film. But no, she knows how we are. She knows football's important to us, and she supports us. And now I've got my own sons. They're playing football, and she hardly ever misses their games either. So it's just football is just part of it.
It's a special thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, now it's time for the most important part of the show.
Oh,
you survived the interview, but can you survive
Okay.
the suggestion box?
And you go first, Coach Rates.
Okay.
These are random.
Pick a good one.
Okay. There we go. Favorite animated movie? Is that for me to answer?
We all will. Don't worry, but you do have to go first. So the
I have to
pressure
go
is
first?
on. Yeah.
Favorite
You said
animated
your kids probably have shown you some good ones recently, right?
I've seen quite a few, especially with all the kids. I would say Probably Lion King would be a
Classic.
good one.
That's a really good. It's timeless.
It is, and I've seen it numerous times. But I just like the whole, passing the torch down to the son, and
Of course.
and yeah, I don't know. Do I have to get into much more
no,
detail?
No,
than
that was actually
Okay.
more detail
Okay.
than we usually get. That was beautiful,
I said
emotional.
Lion
I love it. Yeah.
I
How about
would-
you, G?
I would-
you?
oh,
Yeah.
y'all
Oh,
go
no,
ahead.
you're ready. You love
He's
animated.
ready.
stuff.
I would go
Yeah.
with Toy Story. I feel like it's not just one of my favorite animated movies, one of my favorite movies, period. It's so funny, and I'll still sit down and watch it if it's on TV. So
Yeah, that's a really good one. I would say Lion King is really far up there. Tarzan's really good, but I also love the new Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse
Oh, yeah.
movies. Those
There
are
you go.
really good. So
Yeah,
that's kind of a little older crowd, I guess. But yeah,
That's
how about
good.
you?
Aladdin. I like
Oh,
Aladdin.
that's
Talked about
another
Aladdin.
good one.
And then Up's good too. Pixar.
Yeah.
Up's a really good.
Yeah,
one.
there are a lot of good Pixar.
Yeah, that's
ones.
hard to go wrong with.
All right, Jack.
all right,
Jack's up next.
here we go. This one looks like it's a lot of words. It is.
Well-
Okay, that's all right. Would you rather meet your great-great-grandparents or great-great-grandkids? I would personally say I would
I'm
probably.
looking at you like you gotta be ready for
I
it.
would personally say I would probably rather meet my great-great-grandkids because I want to know what the world is
The
like
future looks like, yeah.
in the future. Yeah. That's my answer. What about you guys? Anybody can take
So
it.
you're saying you have to meet him like right now?
Yes.
Just
Like if I met him
just
right
like
now, then I would
hypothetical.
know what the future is going to be like.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could ask him, right?
you'd have that power.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the other way. I think I'd rather meet my
There you go.
great grandparents, so I could get a better insight into what things were like. Because they came from Germany, and
Yeah.
I'd like
Yeah.
to kind of get a feel for what things were like back then, and where my family came from.
Nice.
I'm with you. I'm kind of a history buff, so I'd like to see, what it was like and learn more, and especially, like you said, coming over from overseas and seeing what that was like.
Can you do one of each? No, that's a
Sure.
cheat.
That's
If you
cheating.
do one of each, then you know a little of the past and the
That's
future.
cheating.
I would probably do past though too,
Yeah.
because the future we know we're all.
You're
dead,
gonna have
right?
to let us know what the
Yeah.
future is
All
like.
right. Yeah, I will.
All right, GP.
Next, put me on the spot. Let's see if we can get a good one here. Oh, sweet snacks or salty snacks? We're going to
Me?
you first, yeah.
I got to go sweet snacks for sure.
As
Especially
in-
chocolate. I like
Okay.
chocolate. Yeah, big chocolate guy.
I'm going salty. That's savory.
I feel like it depends on my mood. I'm normally a sweet tooth, though. I agree with Coach. Anything chocolate, I'm in.
Reese's peanut butter cups, the
Yes.
Reese's eggs, the Reese's pumpkins are out now, so I'd probably go sweet too.
All right, last one. We
Here
gotta
we
make
go.
it count. Okay, would you rather have super strength or super speed?
Me?
Yep,
Definitely super speed.
super speed. Okay. I feel like they're over there trying to decide what they would rather have.
I would go speed as well, right? You can fly by. You can time travel maybe if you had super speed.
Yeah, I would go with speed. When I played baseball, my dad coached me. He said I ran like I had a piano on my back. So I would like to see what it was like to, be super fast.
Yeah, I feel like I would look weird with like really big muscles. I'd rather be like a DB and be really fast, I think. So good. All right.
Two more important ones that
Yes.
we've learned. Is a hot dog a sandwich, Coach?
Oh,
Or is it a sandwich? Or is it a hot dog?
I think it's a hot dog.
It's just in its own category, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
think
you.
it's a sandwich.
Someone else
Ask
disagrees
your
on the...
ridiculous question.
So we had this
We have another
question
one,
last
too.
week, and so it prompted me to ask: is cereal a soup?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
I think it's cereal.
It's
All right.
cereal.
An absurd thought, and
I'm
now
just
it's
saying,
going to stick
you
with
pour
us
it in the
every
can,
week.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not
All right.
we're not calling Jack out, but we're kind of calling Jack
Just a little
out.
bit. I can take it. I can take it.
Hey, thanks for stopping by the
Ridiculous.
show. Best of luck Friday against Garen Catholic. We'll be here. Can't wait to see what the night's going to be a packed crowd up here too. Hopefully, Coach.
Yeah, thanks,
Appreciate
Coach.
it. I appreciate
Hey.
it. Thank you.
Anytime. More Going to the Endzone podcast coming up right after this. Welcome back to our Going to the End Zone podcast. Big thanks to Northview for having us this week. They have a monster showdown with Guerin Catholic on Friday. We've touched on that a little bit. Let's touch on a couple of other games this week. Terre Haute South, they got the big one against Northview last week, Jack, but South has another big one on Friday as well.
Yeah, they do have a big one, but it was good to see South kind of finally put it together. They could have 4 wins right now, just with how that offense is playing. We saw Brady Wilson and A.J. Watkins connect for 205 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. Hopefully they can keep it going against Brebeuf at home. So it's good to be in front of the hometown crowd, and hopefully South, can make it 2 in a row and, get an end of the season push going.
Yeah, I feel like they finally got that momentum that we've been talking about, that we saw glimpses of, and they put the pieces together. And, that team of Watkins and Wilson, if they can keep going this week, I think they've got it. But Brebeuf's going to be a big task for them. So I think that having that win last week against another really strong team, having that confidence booster, hopefully it will send them over the edge.
Big one there. Linton, we went there last week.
Yes.
They won. They got the big win against Western. They also get play of the night win. Paul Oliver not throwing, but catching play of the night.
I mean, how about that? Linton impressed me. They're ranked number 1 in the coaches poll this week now, and they showed me why on Friday night. I got there. They scored 5 touchdowns on their first 5 offensive drives, and you mentioned Paul making the play. They were running the ball. They were throwing the ball. They were doing everything well, and they have North Knox at North Knox, so big test from North Knox, but Linton's rolling. Like we talked to Coach Oliver last week in the podcast, and he said, that early season loss, it's going to fuel them to finish the season strong, and so far it is.
It looks like they're just having a lot of fun out there, which is fun for us too to cover, and so I expect them to keep it rolling.
Another team that's rolling, South Vermilion. They have a big one showdown on Friday with Fountain Central, big WRC implications. Jack, you've seen South Vermilion a couple times this year.
The Wildcats, they're one of the best teams in the Wabash Valley, especially offensively. Dom Garzolini, he had another 4 touchdown game last week. Alex Shryock, who we had on the podcast too, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. They scored 49 points against RP. Since that Sullivan loss, they've really been humming, especially offensively. They've scored 40 or more points in each of their last 4 wins. They're 5-1 in the season. It'll be interesting to see. I think Fountain Central is a little bit more of a test for them this week, so I'm interested to see how Coach Barrett has the boys fired up for that one.
Nicole, how important is it, too, we're on the home stretch of the season, to get, stack wins when you can and get ready for sectional play, which is right around the corner?
Well, yeah, and we have these big matchups that we're talking about, and I think that it's nice for them to come at a time when you're getting ready for sectionals and you really need to test yourself. Because early in the season, if you get beat up early in the season, it is easy to lose your way, right? But if you start off strong and then you maybe get those test wins and things like that, I think it's really important to get a good win anytime. But right now, when you're really trying to get that momentum and go, we've got teams like Linton and Northview and South Vermilion who keep rolling. Northview talking about, when we talked to Coach Rates earlier, just about getting that chance against South that didn't come in their favor, but they kind of are using that to prepare for Guerin Catholic. I think that kind of benefits them to be hungry for that win. And, when you hit sectionals and you hit the postseason, it's nothing but big competition. So you got to be ready for that. You want to stack them. It is very important, but also you want to take each opportunity as a learning lesson. If you do lose to a good team, use that to build off of.
Big one. Another undefeated team. We got to talk, maybe the last undefeated team in the Valley, the KZ Westfield Warriors. Jack, you saw them Saturday. They keep rolling right along. They have their rival Marshall this week.
Yeah, that's a big game for KZ. I was very impressed with them on Saturday. They beat 4-0 Lawrenceville, a matchup of 4-0 teams. Now they're in first place in the LIC. Connor Sullivan, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. They were running the ball very well, but I was more impressed with their defense, shutting out Lawrenceville. It seemed like they were in the backfield every play. I think they had 5 sacks as a defense, so they're good on both sides of the ball. In their first place in the LIC, and big one. Rivalry game, anything can happen. Hopefully Marshall, shows up and makes it an entertaining game. I expect that they will. But KZ's rolling right now, undefeated start to the season. Hopefully they can keep it rolling too.
We are rolling through the high school football season. Kind of sad. Week 7 of the season Friday night. For Jack, for Nicole, thanks for watching, and for Northview for having us. This week's Going to the End Zone podcast. We'll see you soon.